Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the game show that is sweeping the nation. Whose life is it anyway? You will laugh, you will cry, you will get involved with our game players. This is a game within a game, loosely based on the popular game, Whose Line Is It Anyway? This is presented by CSLDallas, a Center for Spiritual Living, and its practitioner corps. We recognize the flow of life as we stand in truth for ourselves and others. So now, let's welcome our host for the show, Bettina Gam.
Well, thank you very much, and good morning. Well, we have a very special edition of Whose Life Is It Anyway today, and I will be pulling scenes from the bowl for the skits we're going to be doing today. So, without further ado, let's go for the first one. Mystery guest. Now, for those of you who are familiar or are not familiar with Whose Line Is It Anyway, we have panelists and we have a mystery guest. And the panelists ask questions in order to determine what the mystery guest does. And so, without any further delay, let's bring up our panelists. And now for our mystery guest. Now, a little hint. Our mystery guest, yes, provides a service. And to bring you in on what that service is, this is what our mystery guest does. Shall we begin with the first question?
I'll go first. Mystery guest.
Yeah?
Is part of what you do you work with animals?
Sometimes.
I'm kind of getting a vision of an ark, but I don't know that that's going to help us. Do you work in a zoo?
Well, it might feel like it, but no, I am not employed by a zoo.
So do you provide a service?
Yes, I do.
Does this service require any kind of particular training?
Yes, it does.
Does it require licensure or certification of some kind?
Some have said I'm certifiable. But yes, it does.
And it really doesn't have anything to do with a zoo or an ark, either one, right?
That's correct.
Mystery guest, do you belong to an organization?
I do.
Would someone like myself use your services?
Possibly.
Do you charge for everything that you do for your services?
At times.
Does that mean yes or no? Do you charge for
everything I do?
Yes.
Not for everything I do, no.
All right.
So then do you charge for some things that you do?
Yes.
Okay. So then some of the things that you do are free?
Yes.
Do you work in the medical field?
No.
Would you consider yourself an educator?
Yes.
Are you involved with a school system?
No.
Is the organization that you are associated with a spiritual one?
Yes.
Are you a minister?
No, I'm not.
Do you pray with people?
Would you repeat the question?
Do you pray with people?
Absolutely, yes.
Do you teach people?
Yes.
Are you a licensed religious science practitioner?
Yes, I am.
Yay! Let's hear it for our panelists. That was not an easy one. And now that we know what our mystery guest does, Sandra, would you like to say any words about what it is to be a spiritual coach? What a relief it is.
Yes. Yes, as a spiritual coach, as a licensed practitioner, myself and our practitioner corps here are dedicated to standing in the truth for ourselves and others through spiritual coaching, teaching, and of course spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer.
Thank you. Let's hear it for our troop here. Okay, let's see what else we have for you today. All right. Next. This is something you might say to yourself, but would never say to the universe.
There are just no good men out there.
There's just never enough money. I don't ever seem to have enough money to pay my bills.
I've never been able to lose weight in the past, so why should I try now?
Nothing seems to come to me easily. Everything seems to be a struggle.
There are just no good men in the world.
It's all my mom's fault.
Everybody always screws me over.
I just always seem to get sick. Someone's always spreading something around and I always get it.
I just always feel like a victim, the ultimate victim, and there's no good men out there.
Money is no good. It's the root of all evil, and I've never been good with money.
It's just that this economy sucks.
I can't do it alone.
Never seems like I have a choice. It's just always things I have to do. There never seems to be a choice.
I have a cut on my finger. I think I'm dying.
I can't do that. I'm too old.
May I have your attention? This is your consciousness speaking. Do you really believe that the universe is not hearing you? Do you really believe that the universe is not listening to your whining, your complaining, and your sniveling? do you not realize that you are creating the very things about which you are complaining? What would a student of the science of mind do?
There is nowhere that God is not. I am perfect, whole, and complete, mind, body, and spirit.
This is an abundant universe. God is the source of all good. My health, my wealth, my relationships are good, and I claim that good for me now.
We cannot live a choiceless life. Therefore, I choose an abundant life. I choose the life that I wish to have, a positive and life-enhancing choice around all of my life.
If principle is not bound by precedent, then that means my present is not limited by my past. So that means that there is all kinds of good in the universe, and I claim it now. And we affirm together by saying, and so it is.
And next, I'll be speaking with the one mind. So, with a little help from my friends, they're going to be creating affirmations from the scenarios that I give them, one word at a time. I'm concerned about the path my child is going down, and I need you to help me to know the truth.
This life is
Perfect.
whole and
Complete.
therefore my
Life.
and my
Family.
are always
Supported.
and surrounded
By.
love.
I want to have a fulfilling job that doubles my money.
God is
All.
there is
And.
God is
Source.
so I
Have.
the abundance
And.
the freedom
To.
choose whatever
I.
want.
Next, I'm going to change gears. I want to have only healthy relationships in my life going forward.
My
One.
love is
The.
source that
I.
choose to
express
As me.
I'm going on a very important interview, and I need some support with what I need to focus on.
There
Is
only one
life and
mind
God
is
all there.
is
And so is.
And least I tax the one mind too much. I do have one more. One more. I just got a diagnosis and I'm really scared. And I need to hold the truth of my well-being.
My body
is
whole. Perfect.
healthy
Radiant. Because
I
am the
one
expression of
perfect
health.
And so it is. Thank you, One Mind. It's a lot of exercise being the One Mind, right? Upper body aerobics. Next, we're going to do a take on the dating game. Only the difference is that we are going to have scenarios versus bachelors. So the bachelorette instead is going to be choosing the story she wants to live with for the rest of her life. Will our stories come up and take your seats? Bachelorette, you are free to ask your questions.
Story number 1. You and I are out on a date, and we get to the restaurant, and our name is not on the reservation list. What do you do?
Well, I think I would probably be a little bit concerned that the host would be mad at me if I said too much. So we'd maybe just kind of hang low for a second and see if maybe it works out. Then, I don't know, because, my IBS might start acting up and we might just have to call it a night.
Thank you for that very honest answer, story number 1. Story number 2, how would you respond?
These idiots in these restaurants do this all the time. All they're trying to do is get a $20 bill to seat you on the table you reserved before. You just have to show them who's boss. My idea on a situation like this is I get right in her face and inform her that you and I are here because we have a reservation and we expect to be seated now.
Okay, then. Thank you. Story number 3, I have a completely different question for you. Out in the future, we have a little girl, and we are on the playground. And the little girl falls off of one of the rides on the playground and skins her knee. How would you respond?
All right. Well, just immediately, because this is the story I choose to live by, I would do spiritual mind treatment around the situation, and of course see to the child's needs and do whatever's needed there while knowing her truth.
Thank you. Story number 1, how would you handle that?
Yeah, I don't know about all that, but I definitely have the right answer for this one. Because you see, I always carry antiseptic wipe with me, and I have a first aid kit in my car, so you would be able to rest assured there would be no chance of tetanus, there would be no chance of infection, because we would get it wrapped and take her to the emergency room immediately.
Okay. Note taken. And story number 2, how would you handle that same situation?
Well, of course, we do all that first aid junk and get the kid wrapped up and get you in the car, and then I'm going to go find out who's in charge of this damn park. I mean, these people have got to be taught. They have got to know that it's their job to maintain a safe environment for our children to play in. And if nobody ever tells them, they just go on la 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 la. It's got to be fixed.
Thank you. Story number 2. My final question is for all 3 of you, and I'd like to start with story number 2. If you and I were living together and I came home and told you that I just won the lottery, how would you respond?
Well, that's great, but let me tell you, these lottery numbers, they publicize the $20 million lottery. It's paid out over every month for the next 252 years, and by the time the IRS gets through with it, you're lucky to have $5 million left. And with interest rates the way they are and yields on investments, they're robbing us to use our money. Man, it's almost like the safest thing to do with it is go to Las Vegas and put it on the crap table.
That answers the second part of the question, which is how would you help me spend my money? I think I know where it would all go with you now. Story number 1, how would you react to finding out that I won the lottery?
Well, I would kind of be concerned that, you really don't want to tell anybody that you won the lottery because, the first thing that happens if you do that is everybody's at your door wanting more, and there is just not enough to go around because that, however many $1 million, is not going to last as long as you think. So I would probably kind of keep it kind of low and then maybe put it in a nice bond fund or something like that.
And okay, well, you just answered the second part of the question, which is how I would spend my money with you. And thank you. Those were very comprehensive answers. My goodness. Story number 3. How would you react to my winning the lottery?
Well, my reaction would be one of extreme gratitude. What a beautiful manifestation of the universe's abundance, and a manifestation of your abundance consciousness. So yeah, just really, really grateful.
And how would you help me spend that money?
Well, it's the story that I believe in is that tithing is appropriate. Tithing, 10%. Yeah, and so that should be done first, giving back, and everything else certainly can flow as intuition and your inner spiritual guidance dictates, I think.
Thank you. I believe that's all the questions I have today.
And now for the big moment. Now you get to choose.
Story number 1. I know you'd have my back, but I have lived you all my life. I have lived with fear and worry for so long now that I just think I need to maybe move on, but thank you so much. Story number 2. I have been the angry cynic more times than I can count. It's old also. It's time for me to move on. So, you Limited possibility is what you are. And I choose you to be the story that I spend the rest of my life with.
Woohoo! Congratulations. Well, this concludes our segment of Whose Life Is It Anyway? I hope you enjoyed it. And a hand for our players.
All right, so what was that all about? You know, anytime a theatrical group is trying to explain their performance, they're in trouble, right? I mean, there's fear here. What we were trying to do today is to deal again with what is the principal question here? Whose life is it anyway? Whose life is it? It is your life. It is my life. We are free to choose. Our choices are as unlimited as our imagination. If we're imagining our life, why wouldn't we imagine a wonderful, joyous life? So what we tried to do was use some lighthearted approach to kind of communicate a few basic concepts. If you go back to the dating game there at the end of the last one, we had a case where the young lady was choosing among a life based on fear, a life based on anger, or a life based on faith and trust and belief in universal good. Now, we gave her some pretty stark contrasts, right, to choose from. But in real life, the contrasts are never quite that clear, perhaps. But they're always there. We are free to choose the type of life that we get to enjoy. And we dealt with in the things you'd say to the universe, that you would say that you don't want the universe to hear, with some fundamental human reactions. Hey, these are human reactions. Let me let you in on a clue. Practitioners engage in stinking thinking. Ministers engage in stinking thinking. We all get caught up in stinking thinking. Our job is to not let it take hold, to remember the spiritual truths, to not fall prey to those false ideas that tell us, well, I've failed at this 5 times before, I can't succeed. When we listen to those ideas that say, well, God does all that other stuff for all of those other people. We see it at CSLDallas all the time, but not for me. I'm the great exception. It don't work for me. It works for all of them. Or this, all that stuff about joy and happiness and all that other stuff, that's good, but man, I'm talking about money. I'm talking about cash in the bank. God doesn't deal with money. Wrong. Money is nothing but God in action, love in action. So we tried to just convey lightheartedly some of those things we all do as human beings that are actually creating our lives. Then we tried to move a little bit to what it is that we can do to consciously create the good. Obviously, we have to start by choosing, but we had Mr. One Mind demonstrating the spiritual tool of affirmation, of creating short affirmative statements that we can repeat to ourselves constantly like a mantra. We also deal with affirmative prayer as one of the basic tools that we teach and deal with here at the Center for Spiritual Living. And then finally, at the very first, in the mystery guest, we were trying to introduce the idea that there is help. You know, sometimes when we're up to our rear ends in alligators, it's hard to remember that we came to drain the swamp. When we are sick, it's hard to believe in perfect health. When we are afraid, it can be very difficult to believe that there's nothing to be afraid of. Obviously there is. I'm afraid. That's when we turn for help. And so one of the most important functions that practitioners serve is to be there to stand in for and with you when you need help in knowing your own truth. You see, it's easier for us to see your perfection. We let you borrow our faith and our confidence and our certainty when yours isn't enough. And that's okay. You see, we all go to practitioners ourselves. We work with each other. So it's good, it's perfect, it's okay. The important thing is to admit and to claim, I need help. And then we as practitioners are here to help. Because ultimately, it still comes down to that one fundamental question. Whose life is it anyway? We are always at choice. I know we have a little placard on our refrigerator that Cindy found somewhere that said, "This is your life. Shape it or someone else will." We are always at choice. So one more time, whose life is it anyway? Mine. Oh, come on. Let's hear it. Whose life is it anyway? Mine. Yes. Yes. Thank you.
All right. Well, we have had such a good time with you all today. And we're going to close with a spiritual mind treatment. If you will join me. And so just taking in all of the laughter and all of the good energy that this generates. Breathing into this space. And just taking a minute to absorb what we've demonstrated here today. In this moment, the only moment there is, what I can and do know as true is the oneness of the universe, the oneness of all creation, the wholeness, the completeness within that oneness. This is what I can know in this moment. I know in this moment there is no way to move away from that. How can we possibly move away from all that is? All that totally pervades and permeates all life, all expression, the life that is God, the life that is my life, the life that is your life, our life. And so individualized within that, and yet we're just all from the same ocean. Same stuff going on in some form or fashion. The same tendency to limit our present based on our past, to think we don't have a choice. So this is what I know to be true in this moment. That within the freedom of life that is God expressed as each one of us, there is always a choice. Even when it feels there's not one. A choice in thought. And we know that's the basis of experience. So I choose for myself, for each one of us in this moment, that life that is abundant, that is not a struggle, that is truly already ours as we are that. We are one with that right here and right now. And so then my only choice is to accept that in this moment. And I just breathe in a sense of gratitude. A sense of gratitude for knowing that the law acts right now, simultaneously, without hesitation. There is simply no delay in God. And as it's spoken, it's done in this moment for each and every one of us here this morning. So with that prayer of thank you, we simply release it into the law. We release it and let it go and know that it's done. And we affirm by saying together, and so it is.